going to take responsibility. I'm just telling you how this is going to play out. He's going to take responsibility for this gun. And if anything, he gets a gun charge, which is going to be a slap on the wrist for him, right? Because he does have a thing for carrying, a concealed carry permit. So he's not going to really get too much trouble. So even if it's Tory, he's going to take responsibility. Secondly, the reason why they gave it to Tory, I thought was mostly because Tory has the name. However, it appears that the gun, which was, they should describe the gun here. It was like I think it's an orange color gun or something of the sort. The gun was beneath Tory's legs. And if Tory sit on the seat, because his feet touch the ground? I don't know. Anyway, I'm making a joke. Anyway, the gun was on the passenger side of the front seat where Tory was sitting. So it was in like his little box in the car. So yeah, if the gun is by your foot, you're going to assume it's yours. We're not going to think it's the person in the back threw it over there, right? Which clearly means, either somebody put it there or maybe Tory put it there. But I told you already what's going on with the DNA. They can't really prove is that whether or not he touched the gun, right? In terms of DNA, and they definitely know he didn't load the gun, right? Which that's one of the reasons they're trying to say it's not his gun, right? If it was his gun, you'd find his DNA that he loaded it, right? But there's no DNA from him in loading it, right? Which is it's the report on DNA is it's inconclusive on the gun. So his DNA on the gun inconclusive. On the actual magazine, it is it's not found. So there's zero DNA from Tory Lanez on the magazine of the gun. When you're loading the gun, this is a gun. You hold the magazine, you put it inside the gun. Your DNA would get in on the magazine unless somehow you happen to get rid of it or got lucky, or it's pretty much you're not gonna get lucky, but it's no DNA found there. Is his DNA on the gun itself? Which means, did he hold it at all that night? Who knows, right? Because that's conclusive. And, in court, fucking conclusive. You need to prove it, right? So, yeah. So 5 rounds. They entered the black Escalade and fled southbound on this street. And based on Peterson, which is Tory's seat position and the position of the firearm, Peterson was the last person to have constructive possession of the firearm. We could Google what that means, but constructive possession of the firearm means, from what I've seen, let me just Google this shit before I start lawyering y'all down and I don't say something. Now I realize niggas they're looking at me like an attorney. So if I misspeak or I say one word out of it, oh my God, right? Constructive possession definition, right? Let's just read it here. And this is from Cornell Law, in case any of these fucking lawyer niggas who get mad at me. It's from Cornell Law. Constructive possession is illegal possession of an object, even if it's not in the person's direct physical control. Often used in criminal law for prosecution of possession crimes, such possession of illegal drugs. Generally, for a court to find that a person had constructive possession of an item, the person must have had direct knowledge of the object and as well the ability to control it. So if the gun's in between where Tory's legs would be or on that floorboard, they were saying it's pretty much impractical that somebody behind him would be able to access the gun or use it or touch it or whatever the case is without them doing something that's unnatural. It would be close. It would be more likely that Tory did it, right? So that's the constructive possession. So now we got that. And I hate to have to do that, but these fucking weirdos these days, it's like, really Megan, I'm like, oh my God, like, how does Akademiks know this? Is he a fucking lawyer? No, nigga, I could fucking read. All right, cool. Back to this. And by the way, this is part of the real police report. Like, I got the whole thing, but this is part of it. Okay, cool. Arrest. So Daystar Peterson was placed under arrest for having a concealed carry in a vehicle. Okay? This is kind of where, if this was Florida, he wouldn't have been charged if the gun was in the glove compartment. But the way they describe where the gun was at, the gun was, listen. Oh, okay. There's another page that describes the gun. Like, that's why I know the color. There's another page. But yeah, if the gun was in a gun compartment and you're in Florida, you could legally carry a weapon. If you're, not Tory can, because Tory's not allowed to have a weapon. But if you legally have a gun, you could carry it. I I don't think you could have one in the head though, but you could carry it in your glove compartment. Anyway, without a permit, without a concealed carry. Concealed carry in like Florida is walking around with it, right? But if you're driving, yeah, you can have it. In New York, you can't have a gun nowhere on you. You can't have it in the car. First of all, if you're having a car, you have to be driving through New York. You can't stop at all. If you're having it in New Jersey, unless you have the proper permits, you got to be driving into the range or driving it through it. Can't stop at all. Ammunition got to be away from the gun. All these things. If it's not, you're gonna get charged. Same with California. You could have a gun transporting it, but it has to be separate from the ammo and the magazine. All type of weird shit. Which means, yeah, I'm just giving you a little bit of education. Okay. All right. Okay, so you got violation for carrying a concealed weapon. As I said, what's most likely going to happen here, if you ask me, Daystar Peterson, K. Tory, his security guard is going to take this. The security guard is going to say, it's my gun, I threw it over there, right? Now, he's not going to say it initially. You know why he's not going to say it initially? Because the gun was fired. So if you just say it initially, they're going to look at you to say, oh, so you did the shooting, right? So it's gonna get brought up, but that's something to address Tory. So if Tory beats the did you shoot Meg thing, if he beats that, he's gonna beat this too, right? Because his man's is just gonna say, oh, it's mine, right? But of course, that's gonna depend on who did the shooting and was she really shot, right? Okay, cool. Let's keep going. So he got arrested. Injuries. Smith, Peterson, and Harris did not complain about injuries. So that's the driver, Tory, and the best friend did not complain about injuries. It looked like Meg caught a case of the beast. Yo, Meg's like 6'3". Well, actually, let me not say that because she said she got shot, so. But according to the police report, they were fighting. I don't know who won the fight. But look, I'm just only quoting the police report. Physical altercation. Look, remember, physical altercation between Harris and Pete. That's Meg and her best friend. All right? Cool. All right. Back down here. Pete, which is Megan Stallion, was transported to Cedars-Sinai Hospital and treated by Dr. Lafredo for lacerations to her left foot. Dr. Lafredo confirmed lacerations due to stepping on glass. Okay? And this is where people have now ran with this narrative to say Meg stepped on glass, right? Which that is true. There was glass found. The reason why I didn't tweet it out, I'm going to tell you why in a second. There's some evidence that's also included, and there was a bunch of suspension shell casing. There's a pendant. I think there's a yellow umbrella pendant, which they believe is from Tory. Anyway. Cool. So can we conclude that she stepped on glass? No. I can't conclude that. The reason why is that page 6 obtained more information, which is not in the police report we see. It's in some other documents that's in the discovery, and I'm working with Meg's homie to get that as well, okay? So, if you go back to, and sorry for the graphic image, people, April 25th, 2022, this is the medical details from the shooting and the bullet findings, right? So, doctor found 3 major bullet fragments, blah, blah. In July, a medical report exclusively obtained by page 6 reveals. Now, let me tell you why there's a discrepancy, because nothing in that police report said bullets, right? And this is why I didn't report it. Initially, the doctors, because Meg told the story, which is a lie, that nothing happened and that she heard gunshots, but she told him she stepped on glass. They weren't looking for bullets. Quint looks at her, they then find that there's bullet fragments. So I don't want to say it's a lie that there was bullet fragments. From what I'm hearing, there was bullet fragments. Now, do I have the official discovery that shows this? No, I'm going off of what page 6 is saying. When I get the discovery of that, and I will get it because Meg Thee Stallion's friend is really good to me, I'll let you guys know about that. But here it goes. Doctor found whatever. Okay, cool. The report notes that she was alert, oriented, breathing comfortably at the time of the admission. She had a visible small wound to her posterior ankle with no active bleeding, whatever. Through the report, Megan appeared to withhold information from several officials about how she sustained her injuries. Yeah, they were trying to figure out what. She just said, yo, I stepped on glass. She told authorities she was walking at a party, heard a loud noise, and ran away. The medical report stating, adding that she had thought she stepped on glass. This is how it looked initially. A photo of the rapper's foot shows she sustained serious injuries after the alleged July 2020 shooting. The emergency department noted that Meg was asked repeatedly about her injury, but she stated she never heard a gunshot. Initially, she didn't even believe that there were bullets present. However, the report states that initial x-rays show bullet fragments in both of her ankles. Now, see, that's where it gets dicey. Because if initial reports say there was bullet fragments, why isn't that on the police report that we're reading? Right? Cool. This is another picture, which I think this is an exclusive picture from page 6. It shows, I think, her injuries kind of cleaned up a little bit, or maybe the other side of her foot. Right? This photo, including the medical report exclusively obtained by page 6, shows a close-up of Meg's injury on the back of her foot. An insider exclusively told page 6 on Monday, Meg told the doctors full versions of the night events as they discussed the prospect of surgery. Okay, cool. So now this is making a little bit more sense. At first, they think she stepped on glass. They're writing it up as they kind of see it.